watching a master at work.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Pilgrims were this large, they wouldn't have to worry about a harsh winter back then. Happy Thanksgiving, UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. It's Friday night, 8 o'clock. Big Joe sitting next to Tom Turkey and a glazed ham. Big Wayne, what's happening,
What's
man?
going on, Joe?
Not a thing. Bun?
What? Glazed ham. What? Man.
I'm just thinking next Thursday.
You'd rather be a glazed hen than a pot of chitlins.
I'd rather be some turnip greens. Keeping it real.
All right.
With some ham hocks.
Ham hocks?
Yes.
Is that a tradition down there in Kentucky?
Always.
What else do you have down there?
Oh, man.
Come on.
I'll tell you after the show.
Tell me after the show. You ain't gonna share with the listening audience out there?
No.
No? Well, the glazed ham's not gonna talk to you. I know the Tom Turkey's gonna talk to you, and I'm the stuffing. And I'll be hollering at you all night. UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. We got a special show tonight. We're gonna jump right into this thing. Everybody knows by now, unless you're deaf, dumb, and blind, Barry Bonds was indicted by a federal grand jury yesterday on 4 counts of perjury and 1 count of obstruction of justice.
And 3 counts of being stupid.
And 2 counts of what else? Anything.
It took them 5 years.
That's the question I want to pose to the folks sitting out there listening.
5 years and millions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
They had a guy they interviewed on ESPN. He was a former U.S. attorney out in San Francisco. When he started this investigating on this committee, he gave up his season tickets and everything to start this investigation. They've been working on this for 5 years.
Now, Wayne, I'm gonna turn to you. What do you think? I mean, like Bun said, they've been investigating Barry Bonds for 5 years. They came out with the perjury charges, but this was information that was known 3-4 years ago. So why did it take them this long to come out with these charges?
I don't know. My question is, whatever happened to let's bring in on the guys that distribute this stuff? I mean, that's what it's all about. If you want to clean up the baseball, take out Victor Conte and my man that invented the clear. You know, it's bigger than Barry Bonds. Baseball needs to get that under control first. I mean, just bringing down one man isn't going to stop the mess that's happening in all the sports, really.
Bun, what do you think about that?
I agree with him. I mean, because, you look
One
at
person
Barry
doesn't
Bonds.
kill a sport.
I mean, Barry Bonds, they've been after this man. But the thing about it, this man has been hitting home runs since he came up with the thick mustache with Bobby Bonilla.
He never hit 72, though.
But Wayne, he's been hitting 40. He was a 40-40 man his rookie year.
That's where a stupid comment
I mean,
comes
it's
in.
not like a guy.
He's already a Hall of
It's not like
Famer.
he's been averaging 5-6 home runs a year, and all of a sudden he hit 20, 25, 40, 50. This man been 30, 40, 50 home runs consistently.
Then 72.
But it happens.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my take on it. I'm glad they finally got the indictment out there so this stuff can go to trial, so that they can now start putting people on the stand and have some people testify about this. The key in this whole deal, Barry Bonds said in his grand jury testimony, which I thought was sealed and secret information. So it's kind of strange that information got out to the media. You know, that's a federal offense in itself.
Mighty Strange is a trainer's out. He's out of prison too.
Right,
Yeah,
the
great.
same day.
You know, sets some time. But what I was going to say is that at least now there's going to be a trial. All this innuendo and speculation, all that's for naught. Now the facts can come out. We can finally find out who's involved in this deal. You know, will Barry get his just day and just due in court?
Nope.
Will he be able to say with clarity that, hey, maybe he did it, maybe he thought it was flaxseed oil, whatever. But I want to move on because this has nothing to do with baseball. It doesn't have anything to do with sports. It's the same way our federal government handled that bungled mess in terms of war on drugs. Instead of going after the user, go after the distributors, like
Right.
Big Wayne said. Now, Bud, you spoke about the home run record. And there's a guy that's about 244 home runs behind Barry Bonds right now.
Slick guy in New York, slick.
Alex Rodriguez.
Hey, he's like, hey guys, let me go out and see what I can get. And then I'm gonna play for the Yankees, but I'm gonna go and test the waters.
You think he out-slicked George this time?
Oh yeah, he got George. George, you know, George getting old and see now he turned over his son. He come in and said, look, $275 million. I'm coming back. Give me 10 years. I'll break the record.
Wayne, do you think Alex Rodriguez, another $275 million? He got $250 the first time with Texas, and when the Yankees picked him up, now he opted out of his contract. They gave him $275. Is he worth it?
Maybe 150. Till you win that first playoff game, not first playoff game, that first World Series, nobody's worth $275 million. It's just one player. You know, what are you going to do for the rest of the team? That's the problem with the Yankees right now. They haven't went out and they got over-the-hill players. And A-Rod's going to be over the hill in 2 or 3 years from now.
This is not the San Antonio Spurs.
Right.
Not the San Antonio.
I don't think I don't think the 10-year deal was worth it.
Well, we'll see what this deal is. 328-8280. Caller, tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, tell it like it is.
Mr. Rev, what's up, man? What's up?
Hey, Rev, do me a favor, turn it down just a little bit.
I got it down. I got it on mute, baby. Okay, man. First of all, I'm going to tell you about A-Rod. This is what y'all talking about. A-Rod could have got big money, but Don Brenner, believe it or not, let the people know he's untouchable. Don't offer him nothing, he's off. So they made him go back to the Yankees because he had no choice.
So what you saying is that he contacted the other 31 owners in the league and said, he's mine, don't touch him?
That's right, and they weren't going to touch him anyway because they wanted to make a fool out of him because he played that stupid game on the biggest stage there is, the World Series.
Yeah, we
He
talk.
had to stop with his hand and the owner said, look, if he's going to pull this stuff, we ain't going to offer no money. So he had to go back, crawl back to the Yankees.
Well, I tell you what, I want to crawl back for $275. Rev, do you have that in your pocket right now?
My faith in God. So
So-
I can't get God can do anything.
Hey, Rev.
He's not going to go and give me 275 right now.
Hey, Rev.
I ain't got to get a lick.
Hey.
Okay, now, I'm going to touch on Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, they couldn't touch him as long as he was still playing. They wanted to wait till he got the record, the time, and all that. Then they going to come in. They ain't got no evidence. Everything is circumstantial. Even though we know he probably knowingly did just what he did. But now, they got him. They got him, man. Plus, they finna get OJ. On that note, y'all have a nice evening. I'm gonna listen to the rest of the show.
All right.
Thanks for calling,
Thanks
Rev.
for calling, Rev.
Appreciate you, Rev. Rev hit Alex Rodriguez.
That's a trifecta.
Barry Bonds.
He went back to the 30s and said he's untouchable. He put the mob touch on it, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was old Elliot Ness move. We appreciate the Rev hitting us here at UPTV Channel 6 every Friday night. Tell it like it is. We're going to move on. Alex Rodriguez, as we talked about earlier, 275, 10 years. My question is this. Big Wayne said he's not worth that until he wins his first playoff
Not.
game.
How much?
My question is he ever going to win a playoff game?
My thing is, this,
Not a
this
playoff game,
man-
a World Series.
This young man has been.
He's not so young no more, Bundy. He's 33, 32.
I mean, like, gee whiz, he come from Seattle, where he was suspect, and Griffey made him out there, and then he said, okay, the Rangers give him $250 million.
Right.
Then he turned around, he get tired of being there. I want to go to New York. Now you want to go to the upper echelon stage. I mean, where you really get in trouble in New York. New York and Philadelphia are the two worst places you could be in sports.
Yeah.
Now you go to New York, and they give him big money. They get fame and fortune. They put his picture on the New York Post with some other girl, and this man married now. He out with somebody else. And now he want to test the waters and come back. Come on, man. It's got to stop somewhere. It's got to stop. Where you gonna keep asking for money?
Yeah, well,
If I give him $275 million, he gonna sell some popcorn, some tickets. He gonna answer the telephone. He gonna wash some clothes.
Well, I don't know if he'll have to do all that when he goes back to New York, but I do know this. That 275 could be better spent on some young pitching. They got pitchers that are older than
you.
yeah, supposed to sit in the nursing home, and a lot older than me. You know, Roger Clemens.
You're right.
So with that being said, the Yankees, you can spend another 275 anywhere you want, but you need to spend it on pitching if you want to get the heyday back in terms of what was going on in New York when Joe Torre was managing that team. Now, it's time for me to. I gotta put my clothes on.
Yeah, Jason, can we get a what's this, Jason? Oregon.
The Ducks took a buckshot last night.
It's LSU. I told me and Big Wayne told you. LSU.
I'm gonna sit here in my
You owe us a duck sandwich.
in my death veil.
They should have wore.
Man, I don't-
They should have wore better costumes last
I don't
night.
eat duck. It's Thanksgiving, so you bring me some chillings. I'm good, bro.
Well,
you know.
we're not talking about chitlins. We're not talking about ham hocks. We're talking about my Oregon Ducks. My pick for the BCS championship.
Gone. Bye bye.
Dennis Dixon.
Bye.
Trophy. Gone.
It all left.
It all left last night. They went to Arizona. Oh, it's hard to hold these tears back.
Take that hood off.
I
Come on
can't.
back. Yeah, you
I'm
can.
ashamed. I'm ashamed. 34-24. Arizona, 4-6. The Wildcats looked like they was 10-0 last night.
They like the Wildcats when John Mack was there.
I know one thing. The Ducks are duck a la orange. They are cooked. This over with.
It's over.
Dennis Dixon went down in the first quarter with a knee injury.
With them little chicken legs.
After scoring 8 points early, the Oregon Ducks, they quack no more.
Yeah,
They
maybe.
were ranked number 2.
Yeah, maybe they can play Ohio State in the bowl game.
What's that? We told you.
That's all I can do.
I hate it.
I don't even have it in my heart to give a growl. My heart is so heavy.
I don't want
That's
you
what
to
happened
growl.
to the Ducks. Wayne, I turn to you. What was the problem with the Ducks? Should they have let Brandon Leaf, as you said on the air?
Yeah,
Should he have started the game like
They
that?
would have had a better chance of letting him practice all week and maybe sitting Dennis Dixon. You know, you can't bring a quarterback in after not practicing with the first team all week and expect him to come back and beat a team, you know, during the middle of a game.
That is true.
They had a better shot with him starting that game.
Bud?
Dennis Dixon, you put all your money on him. They said on TV the man is not truthful to the trainers. Now, if this man's hurt, and you say, "Well, no, coach, I'm all right," and then they said he went 100% in practice. That's practice different than game, like AI said.
We talking about practice?
Yeah, he got the black shirt on. He untouchable.
Because in practice, you know what cuts you gonna make, and they gonna blow the whistle. When you get close to quarterback. In the game, ain't no whistle blowing. Whole time the whistle blowing, if your knee is down or you go out of bounds or you fumble the ball.
Yeah, you
And
want to
he made
applaud
that-
him for
he
being
made that
tough.
cut last night, and that little chicken leg went, and it was over with.
Now, I don't know if Dennis Dixon got chicken legs or if he got
They
webbed
should
feet.
have wore a different costume.
Either way, whether he got chicken legs
You
or
see the
webbed
costumes
feet,
they had on last night?
It didn't work for him, and because of that, the
You're
Oregon
not
Ducks-
trying to hear me, are you?
Right now, I'm talking to the viewing audience out there. UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. I'm not talking to you right now. I got blinders on like I'm at Pimlico. I can't see you. I'm just
I hear
running,
you.
Okay, and the Ducks just ran with my mortgage money. There ain't gonna be no Christmas, kids. Daddy lost it all last night.
No wee game.
Whew. Because of that game, once again, 6th time this year, number 2 is lost. The BCS is a mess. Will somebody help me out?
I
know
told
put
you.
that put your bum placard up there.
I told you.
Go ahead and put it up so everybody can see.
I told you.
This year proves that this is why we need to play our system.
When I came back from my tour, I said, a one-loss team will play in the championship. Won't be no more undefeated teams.
It'll be
I
two
said
loss.
that.
It'll be 2 teams with 1 loss.
Wayne,
Kansas would not do it.
well, let's holler at Wayne. Wayne, what do you think? He's saying that Kansas won't do it. Who's gonna be there?
Maybe LSU and it's gonna be LSU and Oklahoma.
You say LSU and Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Now we know.
In order for Kansas, let's keep this in mind. In order for Kansas to make it, first of all, they got to win this week. They have to beat Missouri,
Next week.
and in the Big 12 championship game, they got to
After
beat
next.
Oklahoma. They haven't played 2 teams of that caliber all year, so to go out and beat them 2 weeks in a row,
How many times did
I
they
don't think
stay
it's
to
possible.
Kansas?
I think twice. And that was with a tornado on one ride.
All right then.
So I don't know what's going to happen in terms of right now the BCS. Like I said, my team that I picked early in the season is out. The team I picked last year that broke my heart, West Virginia.
Yeah, they still out there
They
too.
still got a puncher's chance, and with a lot of these conference championship games that'll be coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of things can change. The SEC, he keeps holding up the old Wildcats, the old Tiger Paw growl.
You're right, the
sign
Bayou.
over here. But they still got to go and play Georgia in that SEC championship game. You playing in Atlanta, in the Dome, home
They can do
turkey
it.
patch.
The dogs be barking.
You don't
They
know
can
what
do
happened
it.
with,
They can do
with
it.
the dogs there.
They'll
Wayne
do
just
it.
talked about what can happen in the Big 12 and the fact that with Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma playing each other, they might knock each other out of the race. West Virginia may jump back up there. There's another scenario that could happen. It's an outside shot, but tomorrow, Michigan and Ohio State take each other on in the Big Ten. The big game, as they call it. Top rivalry in all the sports, Ohio State and Michigan. Who do you see, Bun, in that game?
Michigan.
Why?
Because Ohio State all year, they played teams, but they haven't played the right teams. And Illinois came in last week, smash mouth offense, run down field. I mean, they didn't rely on, they put 8 in the box. They knew Mendenhall was their key. So, Ron Zook, he got a hold of that. He looked at it. Upstairs, they called down. Let's pass on him now.
Over the
Yeah.
top.
Went over the top. And with the big play, when he came on the sideline, they had that 4th down. They called that timeout. Ohio State called that stupid timeout because Illinois was about
He
ready
gave
to
a chance
punt.
to think about
Come
it.
on now. You punt the ball. It ain't like the finna run.
Number one team in the nation cannot let a team hold the ball the
Juice
last 8
said,
minutes
Juice came
of
on
the
and
game.
said, Coach, I got it.
Well, Wayne, what do
I
you
got
think?
this.
Michigan, Ohio State.
Even though Hart's hurt, they still have pretty good running backs back there. They outman Ohio State with the receivers, and it's going to be as you seen last week. Ohio State has trouble covering the deep pass, and with Manningham and Arrington, those two guys are really good, and I don't think Ohio State has anybody to answer them. And if Henny's 80%, I'd rather have Henny in there than Mallet. I can see Michigan winning.
Let me ask you this, Wayne. There's been rumors about Lloyd Carr, possibly this being his last game in Michigan. There's been rumors this week batting about that he might retire as Wolverine head coach. Wayne, do you think there'll be any extra incentive for the Wolverines to hit?
The incentive should be Ohio State has won 3 in a row, regardless of Carr is on his way out or not. The incentive should be enough just being beat by these guys 3 times. If it's supposed to be the biggest, what makes a rivalry is each team winning every other year. You can't have a rivalry if one team is being lopsided the last 4 or 5 years. So, yeah, but Carr on his way out, that should give him a little extra energy tomorrow.
But what do you think is going to happen if Mike Hart can't play?
Pass. Illinois
I think
showed
they'll
it last
pass.
week.
I think they'll pass on them.
Do you still think that Michigan's got a chance?
Oh, they gonna run trick plays. They gonna sideline, whip around, button hook. They gonna run all that, bubble screens. Cause think about it, Ohio State, they play defense. They play aggressive defense. They run it downfield, run it downhill. So you get them, come on in, invite them on in, hit a bubble screen, 10, 15 yards. It's gonna come down to some field goals, field position and field goals.
Give me a score.
23-20.
Michigan,
Yes.
Wayne,
31-17 Michigan.
31-17.
Yeah.
Joe.
I give it to you right here, and I don't have to have my hood on. Michigan 28, Ohio State 24. I think if Chad Henne plays, he'll have a big day throwing over the top. Look for Jason Matthews, Arrington, and Manningham to have a big day. The other thing is Mike Hart will play, and he'll play the entire game. That'll also be the difference in the game, as we found out last week with Rashard Mendenhall and the rest of the Fighting Illini running downhill on that Ohio State defense. Speaking of the Fighting Illini running downhill, we would be remiss if we didn't revisit the big upset last week. University of Illinois Fighting Illini football team going to Columbus on Senior Day and beating the previously unbeaten and BCS #1 ranked
The Ohio State.
Ohio State University.
No, the.
28-21. Juice Williams, 4 touchdown passes. The defense had 3 turnovers. They played the perfect game. I'm going to turn to Wayne, the big Illini fan, and say, Wayne, last week you called it right here.
Said they had to play the perfect game, and that's what they did. You know, one penalty. And, you know, I haven't seen many teams lose, you know, holding the ball for 13 minutes in the fourth quarter. You can do that, I'm pretty sure you can win pretty much 99% of your games.
You sure can.
You know, so they spread the field out on Ohio State, had them going every which way but loose. You know, they running crossing patterns. You got receivers wide open in the end zone. People might sound crazy, but I think Illinois was the more athletic team on that field last week, and they showed it. You know, that just goes to show the good recruiting job that Zook has done, because he's now starting to get these athletes that can compete on that high level.
But last week, Juice Williams, 4 touchdown passes.
Career high.
If you'd have took Sominex and had a hit of Jack Daniels and went into your deep sleep,
You never thought it.
would you ever dream that Juice Williams would throw for 4 touchdown passes?
You know, as Illini people I've talked to this week, you know, if you poll everybody, 90% of Illini fans say, no, I didn't think we had a chance against Ohio State. I mean, a guy I work with, my boss, he the only person I know, he said from day one that Illinois was going to beat Ohio State. I mean, he said it.
What did I say last week,
You
man?
said they had to play the perfect game.
Oh, and I said they can beat them.
But I'm talking about as far as, not the perfect game, I'm talking about as far as you said, you know, you're a fan, you be like, yeah, we're going to beat Ohio State. You know, you'd be like, yeah, I think
Okay,
I
but
think
what
we
did it
gonna
take,
beat 'em.
Bundy? It took a perfect game. They only won by one touchdown.
That's all it takes. If they
It
won
took
by
the
a
perfect game to beat them.
Well, speaking of that 1 touchdown difference, my question is to keep playing that game. Now, in watching that game, Ohio State scored, the first 3 seconds of the game? But then Illinois came back, Daniel Dufresne, nice 80-yard run. But then right at the end of the run, he forgot something.
105,000 seat
The
stadium.
football. And he forgot the football in the end zone. Ohio State recovered it. And there was no review on that play. Bud, I want to know, was that the key play in the game?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Why is that?
I mean, you take that could be, that's the difference. That's
Take the air out their sails. If they don't
right.
punch that in, Ohio State just scored in 2 plays.
You're right.
You come back, you get an 80-yard run, and you don't get the ball in the end zone. Ohio State now has the ball on their own 20. Illinois is deflated now. You know, now they, climbing uphill. But that quick strike gave them, the confidence that they can play, that they're in this ball game.
When a situation like that, you go, I'm coming over your house, I've got to hit you in the mouth every opportunity that I can. Now, if I give you a chance, if I block one time, you come and dot me in the eye, I'm like, man.
Right.
I tell you what, first of all, you come over my house, hit me in my mouth, we're going to have some things. Okay? But second of all, I agree with both of you. That was the key play in the game because I agree. I think the momentum shift would have been so insurmountable for Illinois that I think it would have been difficult for him to come back from that point. But hey, mistakes happen.
It's part of the
Error is part of the game. Just like when players make mistakes, officials make mistakes. It's all a part of the game.
What I don't
Ohio State
understand-
was on the field for 60 minutes with Illinois. They had their opportunities. Illinois had a couple of turnovers deep in their own territory with that defense. So for whatever you say, kudos to Illinois.
They played with a
Ron
swagger.
Zook. They played an inspired football game, and now they move on to this Saturday, taking on Northwestern. Senior day here at Memorial Stadium.
Don't have a
11 o'clock
letdown.
Saturday. Wayne, I'm gonna turn to you. Bun just said letdown. That word just jumped up.
Hey, same thing as Michigan. Northwestern has beaten these guys 3 times in a row. So that should be enough incentive, senior day or whatever. You got to beat these dudes. This is Northwestern. It's supposed to be the small school in the state.
Right.
You can't go out and lose, 4 times in a row to these dudes.
Well, one of the things I'm looking at in terms of this game, Northwestern's 6-5. They're bowl eligible. As you mentioned earlier, they've already won 3. I think it may be 4 in a row against Illinois.
Yeah.
I think the last time Illinois beat Northwestern was 2001.
2002.
If the
2002.
my Wildcats, I called them Wildcats last week. They're 6-5. They win. They're 7-5. They definitely will be in a bowl this year. So, Bun, I'm gonna turn to you and say they've got something to play for, as well as the fight in the Illini. Who's gonna have the edge here tomorrow, Memorial?
I think Illinois should have the edge, but they're coming off a big win. I mean, you just knocked off a #1 team in the nation.
Yeah,
Been 53,
they've been talking about Ohio
53
State
years,
all the way up
and
until
here comes
Wednesday.
Northwestern got that awkward, they like basketball. They got that awkward offense, and they run the spread offense. They might run, bunch like this, and they run the quick screens. And hey, deep backs better be ready tomorrow.
and we've talked about it before, Wayne, the weakness in the Illinois defense is their pass defense. And they played a stellar game last week against Ohio State. But do you still have concerns about their pass defense going against that spread offense?
Yeah, but Northwestern spread is geared more for the run. You know, the quarterback keeps it a lot like ours. It's not a passing spread offense, so I don't know. Maybe
They don't go deep as far.
Right,
They got them
right.
control passing.
This game might rely more on Jay Lehman and them getting back in pass coverage on the underneath stuff than more so Mitchell and Harrison covering deep.
Well, I think this game will play out the same way as it did last week in Ohio State. Tyrell Sutton, the running back from Northwestern, I think the front four and the linebackers can control him. If that's the case, the defensive backs can play back. They can give up some yardage like they've been doing all year, but I think the way the safeties have been hitting and laying licks on the tight ends and wide receivers for their opponents,
They actually covered somebody last week.
I think the same thing will happen this week. Look for Illinois to end up 9-3 and get ready for a New Year's Day bowl game. It'll either be get your credit cards out for Capital One or get your steaks ready at the Outback. They'll be going to one of the two in terms of New Year's Day bowl. Now we're going to transition. UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. Almost finished with the first half of the show. We're talking Illini sports right now. We're going to go right into the Honolulu. Aloha.
You got your skirt on?
If I had my skirt on, I'd give you some. I can Capital One. I'm rocking for you right now.
It's Maui.
Well, they'll be in Maui. They're in Honolulu right now. And then they're going to do some island hopping. later
Right.
on. And Illini take on the Rainbows tonight at midnight. Now, there's no television on this particular game, so if you stay up, cut your radios on and check out the Fighting Illini. But I'll turn to you. They just kicked the season off against Northeastern, 63-55, struggled a little bit at home. What are you looking for from this year's 2007-2008 Fighting Illini?
This trip would be a true test. You get Hawaii out the way, then you play competition. They're probably Arizona State. You never know what kind of which Arizona State team gonna show up. Then next,
Duke or Princeton.
Right.
Take
And
your
then
pick.
I mean, there's no weak teams out there. Marquette got Dominique James. I mean, it goes on.
Yeah, so Illinois is going to have to sand up the beach.
Like when you played basketball, had them buckles with the, you had the buckle strap on his shorts. They got to tighten them up a little bit.
Pull them up.
Pull
the socks up to the knees,
Oh,
get your
yeah.
knee pads straightened out, be ready to play some defense. Now, Wayne, I turn to you. 63 points in your home opener. You know, a lot of people have been concerned all year about the offense. What do you see happening with them out there in Hawaii?
As far as the 63 points go, a win is a win. You know, Northeastern, like you said before the show, they went into overtime with Maryland in the game after Illinois. I mean, you can't just look at your schedule now and say you're supposed to beat this team by 20. By the end of the year, you might see Northeastern in the Sweet 16 or something. Like I said earlier, 2 years ago, George Mason on your schedule, you might consider that a victory. Well, they ended up in the Final Four 2 years ago. So, 63 points against whoever, it's a victory, and that's all they need right now. You got a lot of people saying they might go to the NIT, get each victory as they come, and don't worry about the score.
One game at a time.
Well, last week when we did the preview on the Fighting Illini basketball team, I said 23 wins. I had a couple people call in and ask me where they were coming from. Well, I got the first one already. The second one's going to happen tonight. I look for them to finish third at the Maui Invitational this coming week. So with that being said, look out. Illinois' defense is going to be tight. And speaking of defense, we're going to slide on over from the men to the women. And we've got a special treat for you tonight. Illinois had a little transition this year, going from the situation they had last year. We've got a new coach in, Jolette Law, and she has been so gracious to come here to UPTV Channel 6, tell it like it is. Coach Law, thanks for coming out. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
First thing, why Illinois?
I just think Illinois has all the great resources. It's a great academic school. Recruiting-wise, my success have been in the state of Illinois. I think it's rich in talent, and the community is what it's all about.
Well, I know you started the season off down in Eastern, got your first victory there. Got to come home and play a couple games here at home. UW Milwaukee, 20-point victory there. Then you had a little setback against UAB. Talk a little bit about what happened the other night against UAB.
Well, UAB, I just think my team took those kids for granted. they can come out and play the style of basketball that I was accustomed to. But I just left practice today, and I would say on TV, you would not have to worry about that again.
That's what we like to hear.
Are you telling us that we got some tired legs over there after today's practice?
Very tired.
Bun, anything you want to talk to Coach Law about?
When they first interviewed you, when you came here, you said your thing to bring the ships here. Is that one of your main goals to win? The Big Ten, then the NCAA?
Oh, definitely, that's my main goal. But right now, since I've been here, I'm trying to change the culture. I'm trying to bring a championship culture here. These young ladies have the talent, but it's the mental toughness. I'm trying to instill that mental toughness and getting them to believe that they can win. Not content with going to the WNIT. I don't really understand what that is. So if we're gonna do it, I speak everything into existence. And I'm a woman of my word. We'll back it up. And our goal is to win championships.
I hear you.
Now you're talking about changing the culture and changing the identity here at the University of Illinois. You've got some players, your nucleus right now, that look like they're going to do some big things. Talk a little bit about some of the players and their key roles and what they're doing right now for your team.
Like I said, I've been blessed with a very talented group. We have Laura Bajork, who's second team All Big Ten. She's playing extremely well, but right now I'm trying to really get Jenna Smith, who's on the inside. I think she's probably one of the best post players in the country.
I agree.
She right now just trying to push her to the limit, take her to places that she's never been. She was a Big Ten Player of the Week last week, and we're going to expect a lot from her. Lacey Simpson is probably one of the most athletic guards in this league, and she just trying to get her to stay focused on working on the little things, fine-tuning some things, and you definitely will see a lot from her. Chelsea Gordon is probably our best defensive player on our team. Defensively, every assignment, I've challenged her to play the toughest opponent in the guard spot, and she's risen to the occasion. So I just feel good that, even Rebecca Harris was a point guard. Just trying to teach her how to be a point guard. And I'm old school. Point guards take care of everybody else. They get theirs last.
Run the show.
So that's what I'm trying to do, is just change some things and work on her and just try to get her to be the ultimate point guard.
Wayne, you got anything for Coach?
Yeah, I kind of compare your hiring to Ron Zook's hiring on the football side. He was known as an excellent recruiter. I know you are too. At Rutgers, you were responsible for 22 All Big East honorees, 7 All-Americans.
Yes.
And are you going to keep those roots over on the East Coast and try to recruit out that way? And like Zook did, kept some of the Florida ties and brought them up here, like you say, to change the culture of the team.
My ultimate concern is to try to keep the Illinois State kids
Right.
in state.
Yeah, you took Cappy from us.
Well, yes, and Natasha. But
Right.
just trying my best to just try to keep the Illinois players here.
Yeah.
Tap into Chicago.
Got to.
Got to change the whole image of, the University of Illinois women's basketball program in Chicago. If I can get my feet wet in Chicago and change that culture, get kids there to come to the University of Illinois,
Right.
I will be in a great situation. But I am going to keep my ties to the people in the East Coast
Right.
and around. And until we build this, until we get these young ladies in Chicago and the state of Illinois buy
Right.
in, we got to do. We got to do. We gotta
Right.
get players.
Okay.
You're watching UPTV Channel 6, Tell It Like It Is. We have the pleasure of sitting here talking with the new Illinois women's basketball coach, Jolette Law, and she's going to be here with us to answer your questions. So if you have any questions out there in the viewing audience, give us a call at 328-8280, 328-8280. If you got any questions for Coach Law. Now, Coach, back to the recruiting for a second. You said you wanted to keep that in-state talent. Talk about the 2 girls who signed with you last week.
We have Macy Glenn from Ohio. She's an excellent shooter, comes from a great program. She goes to Greenville High School, and she also plays for the Dayton Lady Hoopsters, who's an AAU powerhouse. She's versatile. She can shoot the ball extremely well, so she would definitely fit into my system. We got a young lady, Lana Rubena, who's from Wheeling, Illinois, 6'3", inside-out type player. She's really, originally from Croatia, so she has that international flair to her. So she's definitely going to be a part, big asset to my program, being able to go up and down, be inside and out, great passer, and I'm very fortunate to have those 2 with me.
Now, you used to play ball yourself before you got into coaching. And you talk about a style of basketball that you want to transfer over to your players. talk a little bit about your ball playing past and how that affects you as a coach.
I just think that, when I played, it was just, you left everything out on the floor. You play hard, if it's for 40 minutes, if it's for an hour, whatever it takes, you just, find a way to get it done. And I've been, played at the University of Iowa, and played under a coach that was highly driven. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about driving, passion, competing, working extremely hard, and I'm trying to instill that into my players here.
Okay. Wayne?
What, you say you played for Iowa. I know you probably hear this question all the time. What was the biggest influence, Vivian Stringer instilled in you? She's one of the greatest coaches in my mind. It's college basketball,
In my mind also, I
Right.
think she's the best. And she taught me how to just, no matter what happens, just leave it all there, work extremely hard. If you work extremely hard, everything will, it'll work itself out. Believe in yourself, don't settle for crumbs.
Right.
If there's anything that you want, you go and you walk through the front door. And I've been privileged to play for her for 4 years and work with her for 12 years. And she's taught me a lot about this game of basketball, but most importantly, she taught me a lot about life.
Right.
Now, Coach, my thing is, if you see her on TV, she look mean. It's like whenever you're like, man, please, Coach, I'll do it. Is she real nice?
She's the most humble person in the world. I mean, she won't hurt a fly. But when you're on the court and you're playing, when she's in her mecca, you're on the basketball court, she drives. She's a feisty, she's a competitor, fierce competitor. But off the court, one probably the sweetest people. She's the sweetest person you ever met.
Because I know last year, I've watched college basketball, period. And I was watching Rutgers, and when y'all had y'all losing streak, and the guy said Coach made them not use the locker room. They had to wash their own clothes. She locked them out. And he said, you got to earn the right to play for Rutgers again. And after that, you turned it around.
That's it, old school. And I'm telling you, after UAB, I was really with those kids that I got here. I was going to strip them.
Oh, they believe now. They believe.
So it's all about, old school, making people earn it.
Was tonight's practice one of those old Vivian Stringer practices that you had?
I had a flashback. And, my kids, supposed to be done at 6:30. We didn't get here. That's probably why, got here right when I did. Just making, getting it done.
Well, that's great to hear that you're changing the culture that fast.
Had to do it.
Now, coming in here, I know you came in, was it late spring, early summer?
May.
When you got to come in here. So you really came in at a time where you had to hit the ground running. What was the biggest challenge that you found when you came in here and you put that key in that lock and it said Coach Law, head coach, University of Illinois?
The biggest thing was just trying to get a staff that would buy into my vision, that would help me to get this team up and running. Worked hard on just really trying to get my staff together and people that I knew worked just as hard as I did. Then I had to really get to know my team in a very, very, very short period of time. And once I assessed what I needed, got my staff in place, everything else was, I hit the ground recruiting. Like I tell my assistants all the time, recruiting is the lifeline of the program. And being that I got the job extremely late, it was just sort of hard just trying to catch up on the people that pretty much had already made their decision.
Yeah, because that was after the signing period, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, Coach Law don't play.
Now you talk about your staff. You got the law firm of Middleton, Klein, and Lewis working up under you. Talk a little bit about your staff and who does what and who do you lean on for particular areas and things of that nature.
I just say I'm very fortunate with my staff. They're all, they all take part in recruiting. Karen Middleton's from Stanford, worked under another Hall of Famer, Tara Vanderveer. She's fundamentally sound, X and O sharp. She knows the game. Been, affiliated with, at Stanford winning big championships.
Right.
So with her, I'm counting on her to just, be there, definitely with some of the X's and O's. And also just getting our players ready and prepared. Some of our shooters focused, because she's one of the best shooters that I know. And getting them ready and prepared for all the big challenges that we're going to have. Tamika Lewis, and it's just been a blessing in disguise to have her on my staff. She's been a part of corporate America. She's been a head coach at the, the junior college level. phenomenal, you know, X and O's. You know,
Okay.
she can still get out there right now and play with my kids. You know, running drills. She ran some of the drills with them today.
Right.
And just making sure that she's there, getting our kids out into the community, and also getting them prepared for life after basketball.
Okay.
So I'm fortunate to have her on my staff also. Patrick Klein, he was with probably the best coach, I think, in my eyes, post coach, Jim Foster at Ohio State.
Okay.
So he's been with him for the last 4 years, and when his assistant Tamika Williams had to go and play in the WNBA, he was the one that was actually on hands working with the Jessica Davenports, you know, changing their makeup, and Jenna Smith and all of my post players are really, you know, taking advantage of his knowledge and his passion. So I'm really excited about my staff, and I count on all of them, you know.
Okay.
That's
for
good.
various things.
All right. Wayne, you got anything else for Coach?
The Harlem Globetrotters.
What was your
I
treat?
mean, that had to be a privilege, though. I mean, was you the first female or?
No, I wasn't the first.
You
Lynette
wasn't-
Woodard was the first.
Yeah, Lynette Woodard. Okay.
I was the fourth one, but I was the last one.
Okay,
So, you know, She was
yeah.
the first, I was the last.
Right.
There hadn't been one after me. So,
I know that was a thrill, though.
oh, it's been probably the best 4 years of my life.
Okay.
Having an opportunity to go to 28 different countries, use this game of basketball to bring smiles to
Right.
people of all ages, you know, genders, nationalities,
Right.
bring smiles to their faces. you know.
Okay.
I can just say that, you know, it was just a blessing just to be able to go to different places, different countries, and see how people live. And made me realize how fortunate and blessed I was.
Now not to cut you off, but we talked about you playing on the Globetrotters before you got here. And one question we all want to ask, do you still have them satin shorts?
See, I have a pair that I have, and then I have a pair that I had to frame. But yeah, I still have my little satin shorts.
So like when you're around the crib, you're doing a little housework or something like that,
No.
you throw it on and
don't throw
Sweet
it
Georgia Brown.
No. It's just a little keepsake.
Coach Law, what was your? I mean, Meadowlark Lemon. You know, he did the old hook shot. Curly, he did old spin and then. What was your trick?
I did a lot of the ball handling, dribbling, did a half court shot.
Can you do it now?
Of course. You know.
You ever challenge any of the players to one-on-one in practice? In practice, you ever challenge any of the players one-on-one? I know they try to
Nah.
challenge you every now and then.
They, you know, they challenge, but see, I think right now I haven't really challenged them because I got to get myself really back in game shape.
Right.
So I know when to challenge, when
Right.
not to challenge. So, you know, I'm
How you
trying
catch them when their legs kind of weak?
Yeah, like right now, you can probably beat all of them after you just ran them to death.
And I started to get out there to
Right.
run one sprint, and they've already ran about 200.
Oh, woo.
That was so good.
How many did you ran, Joe?
I don't even want to talk about the sprints. You see all this life I got on me right now?
Coach, he used to be a point guard in high school here at Champaign Central
25, 26 years ago, Coach.
Well,
Tight shorts, tall socks.
with the buckle on the.
with a buckle.
I said, now why you have to bring that up? You know, we got guests.
You had the
Some
buckle.
home manners.
All right, okay, with the buckle,
There you go. We're talking about the
with the
buckle.
shorts.
When we get off the air, UPTV Channel 6, Tell It Like It Is. We're sitting here with Jolette Law, head coach of the University of Illinois women's basketball program. Have a great conversation. If you want to join in, give us a hit at 328-8280, 328-8280. Stack Girl, she finished her salad. She's good now. She got a little nutrition before the show kicked off. You'd have thought it was her first and last meal, the way she was hitting that salad.
Coach, she was down. She was down. She didn't come up for air.
She was
She
eating
get the
with a snorkel.
defibrillator.
No, she had a snorkel in her mouth and she was pulling in air, pulling in food. But we talked about being in game shape. Sunday, Salukis come into town. Talk a little bit about Sunday's game, and then talk a little bit about what you're trying to do with this preseason schedule to get ready for the Big Ten.
Right now we'll probably watch film a lot tomorrow
Okay.
on Southern Illinois. What I do know is that they have great guards that are coming back. You know, pretty much like a veteran team. Just lost to DePaul by 13 or 15,
Okay.
15 points. But seasoned guards. Erica Smith is a great guard. They got an inside person, Gibson, who is like 5'10", but so athletic. So it's going to be a big test for us. You know, they run like a spread offense. You know, pass. You know, a lot of cut, a lot of open spread offense. Looking to dribble, penetrate, similar to what UAB was trying to do for out one end. Looking to just create off the bounce to get to the basket. So it'll be definitely a test for us. on Sunday, but we will be prepared.
Now, Big Ten schedule coming up, January. Who on the Big Ten schedule jumps out at you and say, that's the team I'm pointing at to tell my players that's what we're ascending to be?
Ohio State, you have to look at Ohio State. You know, year in and year out, they've been, you know, Big Ten champs. They've been consistently there each and every year. So, you know, definitely that's the team to beat right now. But I think Big Ten is wide open because you have 4 new coaches. You know, so there's going to be 4 new different styles. You got the guy, that, you know, the head coach at Michigan, who's come from a winning program. They're playing extremely well right now. You have Coach Reese Washington, who's at, you know, Penn State right now, who just knocked off Arizona, Pittsburgh from out of the Big East, and one other school, but I'm just saying they're playing extremely well. And Michigan State, who has a new coach, they're playing extremely well. Just lost to LSU, but not by many. And definitely with Illinois, you know, with us. So it's just 4 different new styles, you know, and I just think the Big Ten is wide open.
Okay, how does the Big Ten compare to the Big East? I mean, it's like Big Ten is slow down ball, Big East kind of up tempo.
Definitely, I mean, the Big East, definitely more up tempo than what I've seen in the past with the Big Ten. But when I played in the Big Ten was up tempo. But right now, we're just trying to, you know, I think the Big Ten conference and, you know, the different schools in the conference have chosen other different head coaches to come in and change that. I think we're trying to change that myth that the Big Ten is all about walk the ball to the floor and pound the ball inside. I know at the University of Illinois, that's what we're doing. We're going to be more up tempo, push the ball to the floor, high octane defense, and just try to, you know, work that.
I was going to ask you, do y'all press like full court press, or is it more or less a man-to-man press?
It's a full court press. I have like 3 different ones that I'm, you know, working with now. But the one that we're working with is pretty much, you know, a little mixture of man, a little mixture of zone.
Okay.
It's definitely full court.
Well, we're talking to Coach Jolette Law, head coach of the women's Fighting Illini, UPTV Channel 6, Tell It Like It Is, going into the last quarter of the show. If you have any questions for her, give us a hit, 328-8280, 328-8280. Coach, last question I have for you. With your first season coming out, I know every coach has goals, short-term and long-term. What is your ultimate goal? Obviously, to win the championship, but what's your ultimate goal this year, if you could say this would really set us off in the right direction?
To just change the culture and let our kids know that they can win. We have the talent, but make sure that we get that fight, that swagger in the women's program. The ultimate goal is to, this team, my seniors, ask each person on my team, have they been to, my dreams are Big Ten, Sweet 16, Final Four.
Getting that exposure. Yeah,
But definitely, I was just stunned that my senior, my 5th-year senior, haven't been invited to the NCAA's top 64 teams.
Wow.
So we're right now setting that goal to make it to get invited to the, you know, the big dance, you know, be a part of March Madness, seeing our name called, you know, when everybody's doing Selection Sunday. So if that goal is accomplished, and my seniors that's on this team right now can go and see and taste what it's like, I feel that we've had a very successful year.
We're talking to Coach Jolette Law, women's basketball coach here at the University of Illinois. We've had a fantastic conversation. Coach, do you like football?
Love football.
You love football. You mind hanging out with these 9 picking football guys?
Oh, man.
I have one question. I have one question for
You got one more question for us?
How you like Champaign?
I love Champaign, and I really think that the community of Urbana and Champaign have really embraced
Me and my staff, and it's made my transition here much easier. I think, and I know that the atmosphere here at the University of Illinois is, you know, one that you just live for and you dream of.
I mean, you come at the right time. I mean, because
Everybody is just
they're
all-
coming off a Final Four a couple years ago.
Right.
Football team is, I mean, like,
just the support.
We might have to get her down to Jackson Ribs and Tips, you know, after the show. Let her get out and mingle with the people. Get some of the people in the stands, man. Watch the game, you know. Yeah, that's my last question.
I mean, your big mark, your goal is to turn your preseason. You want to play. I would love to see you play against Rutgers.
I would love that.
at Assembly Hall.
I would love that.
Can we arrange that?
Maybe, all right, maybe United Center.
Can we arrange it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try to raise it.
Let's do it.
Man,
No, let's do it
hey,
Wednesday.
wait till she
Wednesday.
get her team here.
Wednesday. Call her and tell her come on in. A private game.
Private game?
Private. Control scrimmage.
We only put out the score if y'all win.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If y'all don't win, you know, we'll keep it
It
on
didn't
the-
happen.
Right.
They said it didn't happen.
Like they did Will Chamberlain. He ain't score 100.
Right. One thing I know is that whatever, we'll play whomever. You know, play the best of the best. And right now, Rutgers is up there in the top with Tennessee. And once we get our stuff together, we're all about playing the best of the best. I don't. And my vision is, and my philosophy is, in order to be the best, you got to play the best.
Yep.
And this preseason thing now that we're preseason test that we're doing right now is to help us.
Right. Well, we go to these phone lines, 328-8280. Call and tell us your name, tell us where you're calling from, tell it like it is.
Well, since we have the glazed turkeys, the glazed ham, and the chitlins, I think I'm in cranberry. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, excellent, excellent. How you doing, Cranberry?
I'm doing fine. I was just calling, I had a question for the coach, Coach Long.
Go ahead.
First, Coach Long, welcome to our community.
Thank you.
A privilege to see a black woman come into the community to pick a Big Ten school. I am a very active member in the community, and I work with a lot of young athlete girls. And I was wondering, what advice can you give me to work with them to motivate them to do good in school and to be successful and be able to get into school like you like?
I would just tell you to just continue to challenge them, both, you know, on and off the court. Continue to be that role model for them. Tell them that in everything that they do, they just give 110%. Never give up. And just, you know, be there, expose them to things that they're, you know, take them out of the land of the familiar. I keep talking to my kids about that. Just stepping out of your comfort zone, being able to take risks and face your fears. And if you can continue to just expose them and educate them on everything that you've experienced and more, I think that, you know, it will go a long way. So just continue to, you know, stay with them, bring them out. If there's anything I can do, or my team, my players, if there's anything I can do, just, you know, give me a call at the office, and I'll do whatever I can.
Well, caller, appreciate you calling, and you have a happy Thanksgiving.
No worries. You guys too.
Take care. Now, that's the type of commitment that we have here from our new coach. She's extending herself to the community to try to do whatever she can to help. So my request to the community and everybody who's out there watching UPTV Channel 6, you get an opportunity to get out to Fighting Illini women's basketball game. Go support the team. I think we've got a gem in Coach Law coming in here. She's already talked about changing the attitude. You can see what's happening with the results already in the first 3 games. And what she needs is support. She's given her all. We need to give her all. So if you have an opportunity to get out to any of the games, starting Sunday over at Assembly Hall to take on SIU, get on down there and check out the game and give some support, because I think we're going to see big things.
Don't jump on that bandwagon after she get to the Final Four. Let's get her going now, y'all. You know, I knew you would be good. You know, no, let's do it now. You know, from the ground up. Everybody, let's do it.
You're right.
There you go.
Let's
Now,
fill it up like the men's game.
I agree. Put 16,000 in the Assembly Hall just like you do for the men. Paint it orange, paint it pink, whatever color you paint it, but paint it for the coach and paint it for the Fighting Illini female basketball team. Now, Coach, we're going to the last portion of our show. You said you like football.
Yes.
Now, these dudes think they know a little bit about football, so we're going into week 11 of the NFL schedule.
First of all, who's your team? Who you like?
Washington Redskins.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
They
that.
all right. They all right this year.
I'm
You
just
know.
saying I'm a diehard Redskin fan.
There's nothing wrong with
That
that.
I mean, you know,
It took a lot for you to say that.
I am. I'm telling the truth.
And we love that. You know, that's why the show called
Let's tell it like it is.
I'm a diehard Redskin fan.
Well, we'll start off with that game.
Okay.
You know, going into Thanksgiving, a traditional game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins. The game is played in Dallas. Cowboys are 8-1. T.O. and the gang is doing their thing. Coach Law, ladies first. I know you're rolling with your team, Redskins.
Of course. We're going to beat them by 14.
Wow.
Woo!
At least.
Told it like it was.
It don't take much. It don't take much. You get T.O. out of this game, you know, get him talking, and
That's it.
hey, You put a couple hits on T.O., put some pressure on Romo. T.O. coming back to, why you ain't throw me the ball, Romo? Throw me the ball. That's all it takes. Team disruptor, team obliterator, as my man called him.
So with that being said, are you going with Washington Redskins?
No.
The truth comes out.
Hey, I just said what it takes to beat him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You was right there. Nigga.
Yeah.
You right. Who you got? Redskins, Cowboys.
Coach Law had to go with the Cowboys. This is their home. If they're in RFK,
It's Thanksgiving, man. It's the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving.
But you remember, it could be a letdown. They had a big game last week.
Yeah.
Next Friday, you guys be wearing your hood like.
Oh, no, he's done wearing his hood. Unless he picks somebody else.
Let me put the death hood on right now. Put this on in honor of Coach Law. Cowboys 31, Redskins 14. I don't even see Jason Campbell getting it past halftime. Wow. Let me take the hood back off. No disrespect, Coach. Just got to tell it like it is.
Okay.
Next game on the docket. New England Patriots. What else can I say? They're 9-0, busted my bubble a couple weeks ago against the Colts. Now they go to play the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 5-4. Playing a little inspired football right now.
I got a stat for you, Joe.
You got a stat for me? Okay, Come on, stat Wayne.
Last 4 years, New England's had Buffalo after they bye week. 4-0. That's all I'm gonna tell you, bro.
So you're saying New England 10-0?
Hey, the numbers don't lie, man.
I'm going with Buffalo.
You going?
Man, hold on. I'm going with something on that, man.
I'm going with Buffalo.
No, we're gonna make you eat some fire buffalo wings.
I will, because I can't stand. I'm from down south. I don't like hot food.
Well,
if I have to.
Hey,
Who you going with, Coach?
I have to go with New England.
You go with New England. Okay. Bears, Seahawks. Chicago Bears. They had a little change in the lineup last week.
the Bears.
Brian Grossman, Rex Greasy, whatever, because they interchangeable, whichever one to call it. Greasy went down with a shoulder injury, and now Grossman came in out of the bullpen. He was 7 for 14 for about a buck, but he threw for 59 yards and a touchdown. 3 minutes left to save the Bears, possibly save their season. But now they go out to Seattle. Seattle defense
Piece of
is
cake,
ferocious.
man.
They shut down San Francisco.
Who is San Francisco?
He said ferocious. Shut down, Sam.
I'm gonna start with Coach, gentlemen.
Okay,
Coach
go
Law,
ahead.
Bears, Seahawks. Who you got?
The Bears.
Yeah.
Wayne,
Come on, man. Ask Bundy, man. Don't ask me nothing like
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Come on, man.
Seahawks 23, Bears 3. Gross
Whoa.
old ways. I keep
Whoa.
telling you until you get Kyle Orton out there.
Whoa.
Even the semblance of an offense.
Man, you heard what Emmett said.
Moving
Sean
on.
Alexander is soft as doctor's cotton.
Yeah, well, Sean Alexander is soft as Dr. Cotton, and that's what Brian Urlacher needs in his pants to take care of that arthritic back. Chargers against the Jaguars. Chargers coming off that victory against the Colts, where Adam Vinatieri looked like he was just choking on a chain as he blew a 29-yard field goal.
They need to send him to
Jaguars
some of them
63.
gambling classes like he gambling out there.
Games at home. Wayne, I'll start with you. Chargers, Jaguars.
Oh, I gotta go with the Jags.
Bun,
Charge.
Coach.
Chargers.
Chargers. Wow. I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. Games at home is down there in Jacksonville, and
Garrard
because
is
of that,
back.
We'll go with Jacksonville. Tennessee Titans 6-3. Broncos at home in Denver.
Monday night?
That's like shooting dice, though. You don't know
The
what's gonna come up.
last
man.
time they played Monday night, I don't know.
Well,
Somebody went out there and beat them.
well, you tell me what.
Favre.
We only got about 45 seconds left in the show. Who you got?
I'll take the Titans.
You take the Titans?
Yeah.
Okay. Wayne,
Denver, man.
Denver.
Yeah.
Coach,
Denver.
Denver. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna roll with the Titans. Vince Young, he's gonna do a lot better than what he was doing.
I hope.
I know one thing that I would like to say, Coach Law, it has been a pleasure. Honored to have you here. Appreciate you sharing your wisdom and what's gonna happen 2007, 2008, and beyond with the Fighting Illini basketball team. Much success to you. And if we can get you back out here, I wanna see the shorts. And I wanna see you rock like you used to when you was rolling with the Globetrotters and at the University of Iowa. But we appreciate you coming on UPTV Channel 6. Tell it like it is every Friday, 8 p.m. Holler at us. We will be here next Friday, maybe.